Forget gurus. Forget anyone claiming to be an online business expert without going through the challenges of entrepreneurship themselves. The Real Money, Real Business podcast is here to prove the best insights in online business comes from your fellow online business builders. We dig into stories of entrepreneurs selling their business on the Empire Flippers marketplace so that you can learn how they made their business profitable, how they overcame obstacles, and what lessons they learned in their online journey. If you want to take your business and your knowledge to the next level, you've come to the right podcast. Let's get started.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of the Real Money, Real Business podcast. We record these interviews so that potential buyers can learn more about the business and the seller to help them make an informed buying decision. If you would like to learn more about this business, including details like what type of business it is, how much revenue and profit it makes, and all of the assets included with the business, simply visit empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business's listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and in the description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. So without further ado, let's get into this interview. First up, let's learn a little bit about you. Can you tell us about your background in building and running online businesses?
Hey, yeah. So our background, I'm Andrew Erickson. I'm the co-owner, the CEO of our brand. And I'm also partnered with Mike Ye, who is one of my really good friends. And we've been in business for a long time, almost basically a decade now. We started back on Amazon back in 2015, 2016. And Mike and I have been partners ever since. We started our first business in 2016, and we actually sold it on Empire Flippers back in 2021. It was a really good experience, and that's why we're coming back to do it again. And the nice thing is that brand is still going fairly strong, and it's been pretty good. We learned a lot from that exit, and we took all the lessons that we learned from starting our first company and selling it and doing all that stuff. We took those lessons learned and applied it to our new company, which is this one that we're listing right now. And so there's a lot of great value adds in there that I think will really shine through. And our brand is built around a meaningful community. We're not just products. I think we have really great products. We have several design patents on our products. We have a nice moat around our products because of that. But we also really value the community that we've built too. We have a nice big email list and social media following. And it really helps us both market our products, so just generate sales, and also launch products and create new product ideas. And so we really like the fact that we have a community built around our brand. And we also have built a lean and mean team around our brand. So we have several people in the Philippines. They're fantastic employees and also very affordable. And we have a sourcing team in China. And the nice thing is that they basically do all the work. Mike and I just do some vision, some planning, a little bit of product design. And outside of that, all the day-to-day PPC, Amazon operations, all the labeling, inventory management, sourcing, all that's done by the team. And they're all, pretty affordable team in terms of total salary and percentage of revenue. So we're just really proud of all that. And so that's our background.
Why are you selling the business now instead of keeping it and growing it further?
We are selling our brand now because Mike and I have been in e-commerce for 10 years now. And we're just kind of ready to pursue other interests. Doing the same thing for a long time. So we're ready to kind of move on. And we just think the brand is doing well right now. And we want to make sure that somebody can take it over and continue the success and then grow it as well. And so we just don't really have the time and energy to take it to that next level. The big thing here that I think is great for the ability to expand it is going international. We have a lot of people who ask us to bring our products international, Canada and Europe in particular. And we just don't really, it's just one of those things that's like a big task for us that we're kind of hoping the next buyer can handle. And then also oversized products. We have a lot of products in our pipeline that we've already designed. We already have awesome specs for. They're just oversized, and it kind of complicates our supply chain if we do that. And so we figured, now's a really good time. I think the business is doing well, and we are just ready to move on. So that's it.
Can you describe the amount and the type of work that you do on this business to maintain it?
Over the last year, I have kind of taken a little bit more of a passive role in the company. I'm working about 10 hours a week right now in the company. So as a CEO, I'm mostly doing planning, strategy, status meetings, and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I spend most of my time. Mike is more hands-on with the operations, but he also has other projects as well. So he's spending 25 to 30 hours a week, cumulative together, less than 40 hours a week. Let's just say it's right at 40 hours a week. And so he also helps me with strategy and goal setting. We also pretty hands-on with product development too. So those are kind of the things that we're hands-on with. Outside of that, all the day-to-day operations are fully handled by our team. So that's all the Amazon stuff, the inventory planning, or I should say Amazon specific, all the updating the back end stuff, Amazon advertising. We have a manager for that. Sourcing in China, we have a team in China or an agency in China. Inventory and logistics and customer support, it's all handled by our team. So all that stuff has been outsourced.
So if you were to keep this business, what are some of the ways you would try to grow it?
The biggest potentials I see with our brand are really going international. We have a really nice catalog now that's been doing well in the US, and we think that would work really well if we expanded internationally, particularly Canada and the large countries in Europe. So Germany, Italy, Spain, and the UK. And so those seem like a really good place to push for, just general growth, right? So we get requests all the time from people on social media and in our email list and everywhere else like that. We get people saying like, please, I love this product. Please let me buy it in Canada. And we just say, you know what? We just haven't really dealt with the compliance to figure all that stuff out. We've looked at it and we are generally compliant in those countries. Just some of the minutia we haven't really gone into, and the supply chain, stuff like that, just isn't really something that Mike and I have been very interested in figuring out. So I think a big thing there is expanding internationally. Another one is doing oversized products. We have looked at a lot of oversized products in our niche that our customer audience have said they really want. The numbers are very good, and we have the brand to really deliver on these oversized products. It just really complicates our supply chain. And we just designed a bunch of products that look awesome. And I'm excited about it. I'm like, oh, we should go and do this thing like right now. We just don't want to pull the trigger yet, just because we figure like this, since we were, last 6 to 12 months, we've been looking at an exit. We figured that would complicate it too much to hand off the company. But I think once the next person takes it, I think it'd be a really good opportunity for them. And, just as somebody had a little bit more time and energy or expertise, international expertise or Canadian or European expertise, or a little bit more synergy with supply chain, if they had their own warehouse or something like that, I think those opportunities would be huge.
Right. And what would you say are the biggest risks with this business that buyers should be aware of?
The biggest risk that I see with this business really the biggest one is compliance. We sell children's products and we have to make sure that we're very, very compliant. And of course, the rules are very strict, but also very clear, right? So as long as you follow the rules and you're aware of how those things work and you have resources to make sure that you are following them correctly, it's not too much of a risk, but you do need to make sure that you're not selling products that are small choking hazards to little kids. There is kind of a moral obligation, but also a legal obligation to protect children. So that is a risk. We are extremely compliant, though. We follow every single rule, probably to the extreme, way more than our competitors, right? So we do I think we've really mitigated that risk quite a bit. And of course, there are insurance in case the worst were to happen. There is insurance that covers those kinds of things. And the insurance is a little bit more expensive than standard product insurance, but it's pretty reasonable. And you can see in our P&L, I think it's a few $1,000s a year for our current level. And so, that risk, both in terms of not being compliant, but also mitigating in case of compliance issue with children, that's the biggest risk. The next, but you know what? One thing I do think, though, is every time there is a risk or a barrier to entry, that does create an opportunity for barrier to entry, right? We are more compliant than our competitors. And because of that, we can kind of stand out from them, which is great. And also we build this brand of safety around us too. People know that we are the people who care and we make sure that safety is a major concern of ours. The other one that's the biggest risk for us is just platform risk. We sell mostly on Amazon. So the fact that we're mostly a one platform company, there's a big risk there, obviously. So if Amazon changes their policies or their algorithm changes or there's some kind of whatever issue like that, that's an issue too.
How much support are you willing to offer the buyer who acquires this business?
I would say a lot. I am actually a coach leader inside of the Titan Network, which is a mastermind for Amazon sellers. And so I actually love coaching and teaching and helping people build and run and grow their businesses. In terms of like a supportive person, I am inherently a supportive person. So we are happy to give as much support as possible. Mike also is very supportive too, of course. Happy to offer as much post-sale support as possible. So we use Slack every single day, of course, emails, happy to jump on calls and stuff. If we wanted to, put some number on it, I don't know, 60 hours, 80 hours of work post-sale support. So we just want to make sure that the buyer is very comfortable and happy and excited about it. And we want to hand this thing off and do a good job handing it off. So very happy to help with that transition. And we'd like to give as much support as possible. Of course, we also have a team that does most of the work already that we are selling, at least, well, can't really sell people, but we're selling the employment contracts to those people. So that team comes with the company. So of course, they're a huge help. And whatever the buyer does and whatever their team and structure looks like, I would suggest that you bring on at least our head VA is an amazing worker. And he would be fantastic to make sure that you bring him on because he knows everything about the business and he's very affordable too. So he would be great too. And so we're happy to be involved for, whatever it is, 60, 90 days after 60, 80 hours of consulting or, email support. So happy to support as much as possible.
Are you open to negotiating something like an earn-out agreement?
For earn-out payment structures, we are definitely open to those. We're very open to being flexible with our structures, including earn-outs or structured payments or seller financing. So definitely open to that. Obviously, we would prefer a cleaner exit, but we are happy to align our incentives with the right buyer. We would be more inclined to do earn-outs with experienced operators if we are talking to somebody who's never run one of these businesses before or is not familiar with the China-US supply chain or doesn't know anything about Amazon or something like that, we would be less likely to want to do an earn-out. We do have high confidence in our team and in our operations and in our product line. But of course, more experience is preferred. If somebody is fantastic and has some ability, some proven record of growing companies substantially or has some sort of synergy like access to a certain market or access to special supply chain, and there's a huge synergy there, very happy to have some sort of earn out or structure like that, And also, we're very excited because we actually have several exciting products in development. Mike and I both have an engineering background, and so we love doing the product development. And we have products right now that are already being produced or they're already in production that are awesome products that we're excited about. So with 3 or 4 of those, we also have 3 or 4 products that are kind of like in design phase that I also am very excited about. We haven't put those into production yet, but generally we're, usually the design phase like this, we're like 1 to 3 months out from going into production. So we're very excited to see those. And we'd love to see some of our success tied to the success of those products, performance-based structures. And also on top of that, we love doing product development. So we're very happy to stay on and help with that. We'd have to discuss how that structure might look, but we're very happy to have that part. That's definitely Mike and I's favorite component to the business. So open to talking, but obviously we need to have our incentives aligned with the right buyer.
Okay, final question. If you had to put yourself in the shoes of a buyer, why is your business a business worth buying?
I honestly think it's a fantastic brand. Obviously I have bias because we created it and we live it every day, but I just think it's a fantastic brand. I think we've built a great community around it. Mike and I both are not great marketing people, and yet we've kind of found this niche in this community that really likes our stuff. And it's not just about products, it's about branding and community. And of course, that being said, I do also think our products are fantastic. We do have design patents on several of our products, which is awesome. Gives us a nice moat that protects us from our competitors. Really helps us stand out on Amazon and other platforms because others can't take our designs. We also have an email list that is very active with a 45% open rate, which I'm told is unheard of in the industry. The fact that Mike and I aren't great at marketing, but we're very passionate about our brand and our community, I think it just kind of shows wonders right there. And so somebody who's even better at creating an email list or kind of utilizing an email list better might be able to really crush it with it. We're also built for scale. So we have room to grow through new markets and larger product categories. You can grow internationally, we can grow into oversized products, and there's still plenty of products inside of our niche that we can go after. I think are pretty awesome. And I think our systems and processes that are in place right now really will allow for that growth, and our team will allow for that growth. And yeah, I guess the team, just having a reliable, well-trained team. Most of the people have been with us for over a year. And in fact, some people have been with us for, a long time, 3, 4, 5 years. A while, quite a while, considering the brand is only 5 years old. There are some people who have been with us for a majority of the age of the brand. So I think all those things in place make the brand, also, it's just a fun brand. Like, we sell toys. And if you know the niche that we're in, it's just a fun, exciting niche. And so I think all those are great reasons why our company is worth buying.
All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. To learn more and see if this business is still for sale, head over to empireflippers.com/marketplace and search for this business listing number, which you can find in the video thumbnail and description. Or if you're watching this on YouTube, click the link in the description to go straight to the listing. Once you've unlocked this listing, you'll find everything you need to know about this business. So, thanks for joining us. See you next time.